Thank you guys for joining me on mile 15 of 1,000 Miles of the Entrepreneur. I'm your host, James Ratliff, and I'm coming to you from my room, and I have my bookshelf, as always, in the back. As you can tell, that bookshelf is getting bigger, and my life has greatly improved just from these books that I've read, and it's only going to get better, right? So if you're watching me, I hope these books are providing as much value to you as they are to me. Now, today we're going over The Butterfly Effect by Andy Andrews. I picked this book because I've always been interested in the butterfly effect. Basically, this book goes over how Edward Lorenz had a hypothesis that he came up with and introduced it to the New York Academy of Science, basically saying that the flap of a butterfly's wings sets in motion molecules in the air that causes a hurricane on the other end of the planet. Now, at first, his hypothesis was laughed at, but later on, it became an actual law. And the law was called the law of sensitive dependence upon initial conditions. In this book, there's two stories that we cover. I'm going to cover one of them, so it remains a mystery for the viewer in case you actually want to read the book. Now, the book is it's very colorful, looks great on a bookshelf, has lots of pictures and bolded words, and so it's an easy read, easy little 15 to 20 minute read. But it goes over the story of Colonel Chamberlain in the Confederate Army during the Civil War. Now, Colonel Chamberlain was told that he had to hold this high position on this hill outside of Gettysburg, and that he could not let the Union Army take over that position. Because if they did, the Confederate Army would have won the war. Now, Colonel Chamberlain, after the fourth charge, was completely exhausted of ammunition and men. And his men were saying, we need to retreat, but Chamberlain knew that he could not retreat. And as the Confederate Army was coming up the hill, Chamberlain yelled at his men to ready their bayonets and just charge. This was the last minute decision because he honestly did not know what else to do. Now, the Confederate Army, seeing this, thought to themselves, there's no way that they would have been crazy enough to charge unless they had backup. So their morale got pretty low, they retreated, and the Union Army won the battle. Now, if the Confederate Army would have overtaken that position, they would have eventually won the war, historians said. And if the Confederate Army did win the war, we would have been divvied up into different states, just like Europe is. Can you imagine the effect that would have had on World War I, World War II, the Korean War, if we didn't have one of the most powerful, richest nations as a whole that we do now? It would have totally affected the course of history, and all of that was from that one point that Chamberlain at the last minute didn't know what to do and just said, fucking charge, right? So it's amazing to realize that every decision that you make doesn't just affect your life. It literally affects billions and billions and billions of lives, the billions of lives in this generation, the billions of lives in the next generation. There's not one decision that you make that doesn't set a course of molecules in the air that affects so many lives in literally the course of history. That talk you have at the clerk at the convenience store when you get your Skittles. That one little phone call you made to your mother or to your spouse that lifted them up for the day and set aside whatever it is you told them, they went off and did something because of it. Even watching this video, if I get 14 views, but one person starts watching these, gets encouraged, and comes up with something in the future that affects billions of lives from this one little moment of me reviewing this book. Your life has purpose. It has so much purpose. You are unique. You were put on this earth for a purpose. Whether you're religious or not, you're here for a purpose that's going to affect billions of lives in the future. So knowing that, from this point on, know that every decision you make, everything that you do, has purpose, no matter how little or how big that decision is. Puts that little butterfly feelings in your stomach, right? Pun intended. But anyway, Butterfly Effect, Andy Andrews, going on the shelf. Right there. Next episode, we're going to go over the progress I've had with my own company, 1,000 Miles Fitness, and my other apparel company that started with my brothers, Feathermouth. It's been amazing because I no longer work for anyone except for myself, and it's only been a month and a half, and I've actually made more money doing it. So I'll give you the updates on that. All right, stay tuned for mile 16, guys. And once again, thank you for being on this journey with me, and I hope you're getting as much value in this journey as I am. We'll catch you later.